It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
And a fine Saturday morning to you, gents.
Yay. This is like podcast Truth or Dare. What is it? Like that podcast? What's that movie where it just people on the internet made you go out and do dumb stuff?
Nerve with Emma Roberts or whatever. Yeah. And Dave Franco.
Yeah. No, this time it's Nerve is like you get a text and it says, go to Albertsons. Like that's the end of it. It's just go to Albertsons.
No, it's
wow. It's like the COVID-19 challenge.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know if I can do that.
Go to Albertsons and take the last roll of toilet paper.
That's a local grocery store chain for people in other parts of the world wondering who's this Albertson they're talking about.
Yes.
Right. Go to Kroger.
Go to Piggly Wiggly.
All the Swedes are saying, the son of Albert? Who's this?
Go to Sam's Club. Buy some Twinkies without gloves.
Isn't that what Guns Akimbo basically is too?
I don't know. We'll find out when we talk about it on the film board.
The film board is back?
Are we doing that? Is that this weekend?
But how? All the movie theaters are closed.
Yes. Satmat is back. We're going to do one this weekend, right? We are doing it this weekend?
Yeah.
Is it this weekend?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be just delightful. Guns Akimbo. Delightful.
The first of many to do on films that were meant to be theatrical releases.
That's
Look,
right.
Let's just get it out in the open and say, you're a real downer today, Andy. Bringing up the first of many. Real downer. That's not why we're here, to remind people
you know what?
The crap hole situation we're all living in.
I was going to say, the viral monkeys pooped in his lemonade.
That's right.
Yes, they did. You know what I love about the COVID-19 virus? The models that you see everywhere?
Do you love? What?
I can't wait. This is down the road. Like give it 5, maybe even less years. School projects are going to be kids taking one of those styrofoam balls that you buy at like the crafts aisle, painting it like blue or something, and then sticking a bunch of Q-tips in it, and then painting the ends different colors like white and purple and stuff.
Pipe cleaners. Pipe cleaners. Then they can make the little bloom.
Yes. That's right. They can do the little blooms on it. Yeah. I can't wait. The little coronavirus models that will be in all of our children's futures.
Oh, I'm not ready for that.
No.
Yeah. So how you doing? Sanity check. Quarantine sanity check. Andy, what are you doing to keep yourself sane?
Well, I watch things. We're in an interesting place.
That's not creepy. It's not creepy at all. I watch The Neighbors. I watch The Neighbors.
I like to watch. Now, I try to watch. I made a point where right now I'm like, my goal is a movie a day. If I can fit 2 in, great. That's my personal goal right now. Outside of that, school has started back up, and so all week we're in day 4 of our children's at-home schooling, and so my wife and I are learning very quickly how to become homeschooling parents, and it's very trying. So we've had a trying week of putting a schedule together, watching it get broken, trying to rebuild a schedule. It's been a week, but it's okay. It's all part of the fun. So just watching things and doing that, and then just trying to at least get out every day to go on a walk to at least feel like I can see the outside world a little bit.
Some people would say some actual physical exercise is useful. I don't believe that. Steve, what are you doing?
Was it Monday? I think it was Monday. We did a little family workout. My daughter's dance studio, 9 a.m. on Monday was like, okay, one of the teachers doing a little, workout session for people. So we did that, and it felt good getting the family together, everybody working out in front of the TV, brought up Zoom, and, Apple played it to the TV and everything. So, did get some exercise in. It was sore the next day. That's for sure. Sanity, yeah, that's why I'm sitting outside right now. I need to get outside because my life is like indoor Zoom meetings, 8 to 5. So, trying to catch up on some shows and some movies, but unfortunately, I don't know, after a little alcohol and 9 o'clock, I just can't, stay awake through, trying to get through some of the stuff on the Criterion Channel. I desperately want to watch Spirit of the Beehive. It's been on my list for, years. And I'm like, I got to sit down and watch this. Spanish films at 9 o'clock at night. Not gonna.
Especially with booze. No,
especially with booze. So no.
Steve, I have a confession to make. I need a report on the platform because I said I was going to go watch it.
You were going to go watch it
I did.
then.
And I turned it on and I watched about 20 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And then I was interrupted and I was not able to watch the rest. And I never came back to it. So I'm not sure. I really enjoyed the first 20 minutes of it. I think it's going to turn out great. What'd you think?
Didn't you see my review?
Well, I want you to say, of course I saw your review, dummy. This is for the show. I'm trying to set you up. We've been podcasting together for 10 years now.
Yeah.
Come on, take a toss.
It's platforms all the way down. It just goes and goes, and there's food.
That makes it sound like it's terrible.
No,
you're not.
That.
You're not
It
selling
just spirals straight to the bottom.
It goes
baby.
down.
Straight to the bottom.
It's not going to be for everybody because it's got an ending that I think people aren't going to. It depends. I guess if you like Cube, I think you're going to be fine with this because it does have that single set. It's like we're going to visit the platform, the floors. It's the same set. They just put a different number on the wall, but it works. Mm-hmm. And there's something larger, more philosophical, metaphorical going on. And we do have some scenes outside of the platform, like our main character, how he got there and all of that. And some interesting, there's, I guess, 3 or 4 main characters that sort of take us through. I really, really enjoyed it. So I think it had some interesting things to say, but again, if you're looking for a movie to speak, I don't know, morals to you or make some commentary on society, then it might not be for you.
Okay. So is it going to make a trailer rewind pick?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this would be I would double this up with Cube if I could. This is
There's nothing stopping me from picking Cube as a trailer pick.
Oh,
I know it's 25 years old. I don't care.
No, I love films like this that are these slight sci-fi elements to it. It's sort of a smaller scale production, but it's got an interesting concept to it, and I'm always all in for those, and I will give them. I'll give them a shot, and even if they're disappointing, I watched one the other day, was it last week or something? And it had to do with a woman who had traveled through time, and it's another version of herself was trying to help her solve this murder mystery thing or stop a murder. And it was starting off okay. And then it went off the rails and tried to turn into something else. But I will always give things like that a shot. This is one of those, and you need to go finish it.
I mean, immediately after the show, I'm going to go watch the next 5 minutes of that movie. Yeah,
exactly. Andy, I think it might be something you would enjoy.
I'm very curious about it. It's on my list of things to watch.
Yes.
I have not gotten around to it. I have been just busy playing catch up on my Letterboxd watch list. That's been my goal. Yeah. Really cranking through stuff.
Wait,
trying to
which list?
That out.
Which list?
You've got just I add all my lists to my watch list.
Oh, okay.
All the stuff that I'm actively doing are all thrust in there.
Okay.
So I've just been kind of cranking through slowly, trying to get through stuff.
Like Robert
although
Redford?
I did throw in there from last week's recommendation, I did rewatch House of Bamboo again.
Oh, okay.
And I had a great time with that again. So it's fun. But
and you watched what was it, Old Dark?
The Old Dark House.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really enjoyed that one. A lot of fun.
So did you get that one on disc, or how did you?
No, it's on Canopy.
Oh, it is? Oh, that's right. There's a little bit of crossover between Canopy and Criterion. So, yes.
Yeah, in fact, that one was listed under Cohen Media.
Okay.
But Pygmalion, which was the next one that I watched, was actually a Criterion release on Canopy. So,
yeah. I've been trying to tell people, they're like, I'm running out of stuff to stream, or I can only handle so much. I'm like, you've got Canopy, you've got Hoopla. If you have a library card, there's all this other stuff out there that's not Amazon, Netflix, and Hulu. So, yeah.
Well, what's great is, on Letterboxd, when you have your watch list or any list, you can just hit service and it'll give you the list of all the services. And I just click stream only.
Right.
And I can look at everything that's streaming. And then I've just been kind of plugging through that. So,
all right.
been quite handy. And never mind. I was gonna go off on a tangent.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was gonna go off it before we went down that road, Old Dark House Road, and then I totally forgot what the tangent was. So.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Pete,
obviously wasn't very exciting.
Pete, how are you staying sane?
Do you ever want to? Well, sometimes I take my horse down to Old Dark House Road and I ride until I can't no more.
Stop.
What am I doing to stay sane? I'll tell you, our show of the week is Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet.
Oh, how is that?
I adored it. I'm a huge Sunny fan. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and so this is Charlie Day and Rob McElhenney, and Rob McElhenney plays the principal. It's a cross between, I think, Silicon Valley, a little bit of It's Always Sunny. It's kind of got that irreverence to it. And it is about a game development studio, and it has a surprising amount of heart and just the right timing on the jokes. And I want more of it. In fact, I want more of it so much that the kids and I watched all the way through it, and we all had to vote at the end, would Mom like it? And now I'm watching it again with Mom. So and so far, 2 episodes in, big thumbs up. So we're having a great time with Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet.
Okay.
Apple TV Plus show.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed all the Apple TV Plus stuff that I've watched has been really satisfying. I haven't found anything that's just like, not at least on some level a win. Even the Apple TV Plus podcast commercial, true crime podcast commercial, starring Aaron Paul and Octavia Spencer, maybe? Yeah. Anyway, it's great. True crime. She's actually a podcaster who put somebody in prison when she was actually a reporter. Now she's a podcaster, and she's using the power of the podcast to get him out. Yeah. So
interesting.
Your mileage may vary, but I've enjoyed it so far. So that's what I've been doing. And of course, movies. We introduced the family. I introduced the family to the first 2 of the Cornetto trilogy. To some level of trauma. Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz were great in the moment. Left a little bit on the nightmare side, but we got through it. It was great. Everybody had fun. I haven't done World's End yet, but that is coming probably this weekend, so we can knock that one out. But so far, everyone here. Big fan of Edgar Wright. I've done my part. I feel
excellent.
I feel good about that.
Nice.
And let's see. Oh, we did Jumanji: The Next Level.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, family movie. You know what? Cute family movie. It was was as good as the first one. Not really. I really enjoyed the first one. Second one, still good laughs. That Kevin Hart. Yeah. That Kevin Hart's a national damn treasure, right there. He is funny.
Have you watched Amazing Stories on Apple TV?
Not yet, Andy.
I've been wanting to, but instead, and maybe this was a mistake on my part.
You're watching the old ones.
I decided to start watch the old ones with the kids.
Yeah. Oh no,
And we've made it through. Actually, okay. I mean, we're on the second disc. We've plowed through probably 10 episodes by now. But and I'm like, so are you guys enjoying this? They're like, it's a little boring. So they're not super into the old ones. But I will say, and I don't know if you guys remember, there was one with I'm going to forget his name. It'll come to me. But it's the one where it's a magician who can, like, when he puts his hands on people, he can kind of see a little bit into their life, and he uses it to kind of, do magic tricks and stuff. But he puts his hand on this guy and he sees that he just killed some people. And now this killer is after him. I can't remember what it was called, Mr. Magic maybe, but I showed that to the kids, and it's not super scary by today's standards, but my son really, it was a little much for him. It was like nightmare level scary for him. Yeah. So
I watched the first episode of that one, and it's all right. And, it's
the new one you're talking about.
The new one. Yes. And so when I had my CBS All Access, I actually watched 1 or 2 episodes of the new Twilight Zone, because what's funny is when you talk about amazing stories, and I try to remember the original ones, I blur them together with
original Twilight Zone.
The Twilight Zones that were sort of relaunched at that same time, and I always try to remember which one was which, because there was like the Bruce Willis one where he like answered the phone and it was himself and all of that, and I'm like, was that Amazing Stories? Was that Twilight Zone? I can't remember. So, and again, both, the Twilight Zones were okay, and the One Amazing Stories was okay. So nothing that I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to see this. So I'm waiting to see if Amazing Stories sort of picks it up. But it was, it's.
Well, both seasons of the original Amazing Stories are available on iTunes.
Oh, okay. Well, you said disc, so I was like Laserdisc.
I've had the disc
It's
for the
Laserdisc.
first, or the box of DVDs for the first season for years, but the second season never came out. But they I think they tied it in with all of the stuff going on with the new show, and they just released the both seasons on iTunes now.
Oh, okay. No. All right.
So
Andy
they're fun to watch.
Andy watches the whole thing on Super 16.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Gather around the fire, children.
Let me get this VHS out, and we'll put this in for Amazing Stories.
Projector.
Let's talk a little bit, Steve, about your friend John Wick.
Yes, my friend John Wick. One of my
you want to talk about how high you are?
This is the great thing about the internet. When people get bored and I'm assuming indulge in recreational activities and substances, their minds just sort of travel into interesting places, and things get thrown out on the internet of like, hey, did you ever think about the fact that the John Wick movie universe is actually set inside a video game? Because think about all these things, like the Continental, it's like the shop/game area where you go in to recharge your health and get supplies and all of that, and everybody uses coins as currency, and there's all these like NPCs all over the place that don't really seem to care that all these people are getting shot up and killed all over the place. And there's dialogue before the action scenes and then after, sort of like the cut scenes in the movie, but the action scenes are like the video game part of the video game. Yeah, it's like totally like inside a video game.
Do you think, though, now that you've read that, and that today marks the release of John Wick Hex, the video game, that entire post is some sort of paid promotional endorsement?
The John Wick Hex video game doesn't come out till May, Peter.
I'm just saying, the trailer dropped today. You think they're trying to build interest?
No, maybe. I don't know. We're all inside a universe where, we're in the Lionsgate universe.
It's like Free Guy.
Yes.
It's Free Guy. The whole thing is all promotion of Free Guy.
Yes. Free Guy. Is that going to be in theaters? When are we going to see that?
God, I hope it's just into my brain directly. I can't wait to see that movie.
Theaters are closing down, and they're going to open up brain injection theaters where you just go in.
Brain injection theater.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Brain injection theater. I can't wait. But seriously, both the notes to Steve's, the drug-induced cerebral rant on Joan Wick. I blame Andy for that. Jonah Wick.
Jonah Wick
Hex.
And the link to the
John Wick Hex.
The Jonah Hex.
That's been his nickname for a century
now. All in the show notes. Who posted the Spike Lee thing?
I did.
Steve posted everything. This week.
Yes, I was like, I had some time where I was like, I should see what's out there. And well, this one was, I think, mentioned in Discord first. I think somebody mentioned this, and I thought it's worth talking about on the show because you guys just finished up the Spike Lee series, but Spike Lee is releasing, it's out there right now, his script for his Jackie Robinson movie. So it was a film, and I think he said this was like, what did he say, like 1985 or 86 or something like this? He wrote this and had wanted to do it with Denzel, and Denzel felt he was too old and all this. So he's making it available for everybody out there to read this unproduced script. 159 pages of his fifth draft of the known but never actualized Jackie Robinson film is available out there on the internet.
That's fantastic.
Oh, sorry, 1996, not 1986. So
I wonder if he felt really defeated when he watched 42, or if he felt justified, or if he felt like, damn it, I can still make mine because that wasn't great.
Right.
Yeah. That one comes up on my flick chart every once in a while, and I'm like, do I remember that movie? Well, there's a reason it's this low on my flick chart. So yeah. Okay. I'll rank this higher like than that.
It suffered from being just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. This reminds me of I just posted a video the other day. Did you guys happen to catch it of the animated sort of 10-minute run through of what Rise of the Rian Johnson script?
Not the Rian
of the
Johnson
last Star Wars.
Not the Rian Johnson, the Colin Trevorrow.
Well, Colin Trevorrow. I mean, I think it was the Colin Trevorrow. Like what it would have looked like. Did you watch that?
No, I haven't watched that.
One, I consistently am amazed by the amount of free time and interest that nerds have at home in quarantine. That was an amazing video.
Just let me fix that statement. Retract in quarantine, Pete.
Yeah.
There, fixed.
Fixed. All right, you're right. That's a good point. It is an amazing bit of animation, whatever you think of the story. The story is fascinating. At one point, they steal a Star Destroyer and go completely rogue. Great stuff. Great stuff.
Would that be Rogue 2?
Did you see the well played? Did you see the one where they did the battle in the mines of Moria, but replaced every weapon with lightsabers?
What? Oh, yes,
geez.
yes,
Brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Well, that's a word for it, sure.
And it leads, of course, to this is all in an effort to segue to Cat's the Butthole Cut. What did you find?
Well, you mentioned it before, and then
I did.
And then the internet made it happen. Somebody took
internet.
They said, "Hey, we've got again nerds with time. No, just nerds that have interest in putting buttholes on cats, and not just on cats. If you watch this thing, there's
the moon.
There's just things that you don't want to see. You don't want to see, but you probably want to see more than the actual, real cut of cats.
This is like the internet. Let me just.
They're so bright and pink. They're so bright and pink.
They're so bright. They're reflective. Well, everybody knows that cat buttholes are reflective devices, so they can be seen in the night when they scurry across things. Look, I think that I have now come to believe that Cats the movie actually only exists so that the butthole cut can exist. That is my opinion of Cats now.
But it's not just the footage of the cats with buttholes. It's the quotes that they drop in from Spielberg and the director and just I
just couldn't stop adding buttholes. Tom Hooper. That was the best.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh, goodness. All right, what's next? Iron Man 3, stupid trending.
How weird is that? Of the Marvel movies, all of a sudden Iron Man 3 starts trending on Twitter because there is an argument in Twitter about what's the worst Marvel movie, that or Thor: The Dark World, and specifically MCU. Right, we're talking because Howard the Duck was obviously not brought up.
That Iron Man 3 is one of the stupidest movies that the MCU
people
has
are saying yes. It's they can't
because they were saying no, it's worse than Thor: The Dark World.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I agree to disagree.
I think that's
lunacy.
Well, Pete, get out there on Twitter and just set everybody straight on this. Come on.
Steve, of course you recognize that's the worst advice you could give anyone anytime ever.
But
I will not be doing that.
No, it's the most entertaining advice because
everybody's doing it, Pete.
Yes, come on. Get out there on Twitter. It makes it more entertaining for the rest of us bystanders.
Mm-hmm. Well, should we at least lobby our votes for the stupidest MCU movie?
Howard the Duck?
Well, we're not saying the stupidest. We're saying the worst.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was the argument that it was stupid.
No, it's just
worst Marvel movie ever.
Yeah.
They're saying it's right now. The people online are saying that it's worse than the Thor: The Dark World, but they're not acknowledging all the other films that have issues because The Incredible Hulk often is considered the worst.
Yeah,
which I disagree with. I think that's a fine film. It just fits oddly into the structure. Iron Man 2 is brought up quite frequently too. I don't know. I feel like I'm okay saying Thor: The Dark World, but I don't feel like any of them are that bad.
Well,
Captain Marvel, honestly, is the one that I find the least interesting.
Oh my goodness. Well,
that's because you're a misogynist, though.
Right,
so whatever,
exactly.
Steve.
I was going to
clearly, if you don't like it, that's not the only logical conclusion.
Well, what's interesting is that, and it's sort of on a tangent to this discussion, is there was an article I saw, I think last week, where Patty Jenkins was saying, she had been temporarily attached to Thor: The Dark World and is thankful she did not direct that film because she feels if she had done that, given the reputation of that film, how much it's disliked, that she probably wouldn't have gotten a chance to do a film like Wonder Woman. And so she's thankful she left Thor: The Dark World because she felt like a woman would have gotten so much more hate because, oh, you're a woman, you don't understand comic book movies, this and that. And so she was able to prove herself on Wonder Woman, probably because she did not do Thor: The Dark World.
I don't know about that.
Mine.
I think
again, did Alan Taylor do anything much else?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. That's a good point. The problem with Thor: The Dark World, it just didn't. It just felt so out of context for me. It was so like I just didn't. There are some things in Iron Man 3 that took me a long time to get my head around. Like everything they did with the Mandarin. I see why people are still irate about that. I just don't share it anymore. Like I've moved on.
Right.
But the thing about the Marvel movies is that they all exist in this happy medium place with a very shallow like frequency wave. So on any given day, they're all the best. It's Schrodinger's cinematic universe for me.
Okay.
Thor: The Dark World has a lot of fun stuff too.
It's
like all the
fine.
stuff dropping the shoe through the thing.
Yeah. Right.
I have fun with that one.
Right. That's what with Jane and all the science.
Oh,
Yes.
God, there's so much
Science.
science. That's a great point. Yeah, there's a lot of science.
You remember that?
So
That was pre-meme, wasn't it? Was that pre-meme internet with Jane and all the science? Yes.
God, those were the days.
Yes.
Anyway, I think they're too hard on it.
Yes.
That's my thing. I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
All right. You got anything else on the hot list before we do some other things? Trailers?
Are we doing trailers?
I think that's it.
Are we doing trailers or are we... I don't know the order of things.
Well, we do trailers, and then we do re-rank some movies, Steve. It's the rundown.
Oh, that's that. Oh, if I scroll, there it is. Look, trailers. Enter your movie
and it's even
paste
written
in
as it was originally, all caps except for that little S. And an interrobang.
Ooh.
Where,
even
on
that,
trailers?
No, at the end of Let's Re-Rank Some Movies. Ellipsis. Andy, interrobang.
Interrobang? All right.
Yeah.
Pete, trailers? Interrobang? Wait, no, sorry, Andy. Andy goes first.
I go first.
Yeah.
So as much as I wanted to pick the zombie film, I just knew it wouldn't be right.
I'm glad you didn't.
Right. So
I would have held it
went
against
with a trailer for a film that I was like, is this a sequel to something, or what's the title for? I really couldn't figure it out because it's called Intrigo, Dear Agnes. Is the trailer, and I'm like, okay. Interesting, strange title. I don't know if I fully understand it. It looks like it could be an interesting kind of crime thriller. It's not rated very high on IMDb right now, 5.2 out of 10. So it might be, there still might be some enjoyment in it. Who knows? Anyway, this is a story about a woman who gets her friend to agree to kind of kill her husband. And it's just kind of the psychological games that go along with that. It was an interesting trailer pick. I just felt like, I was trying to find something that looked a little, that was interesting in some way, because trailers are a little thin right now since everything's kind of basically going to Netflix or HBO. And so I was like, okay, this is an interesting one. I'm going to pick it. I don't know anything about this. And is it a series? What is it? And apparently it is. There was a film, Intrigo, Death of an Author, that was directed by Daniel Alfredson first, with Ben Kingsley in it, based on a series of novellas by, I'm not probably going to say this name wrong, Hakan Nesser. It's a trilogy it's a bunch of novellas, but this is a trilogy of films. Intrigo, Death of an Author was the first one. Then there was Intrigo, Samaria, and this is the third one, Intrigo, Dear Agnes. Both of those last films were released the same day in Germany last October. I don't really know why. I don't really have a good sense of this, but I'm really intrigued now that there is this strange little trilogy, this Intrigo trilogy of films that are out there that I guess they're connected just by the fact that they're crime thrillers is all I can tell. But anyway, this is Intrigo, Dear Agnes. Daniel Alfredson directed it. Gemma Chan, Carla Juri are in it. And, I don't know. It looked like it could be interesting. It piqued my curiosity. It might be a late night watch. What did you guys think?
Well, it's a 5.2 on the IMDb, but only 51 people have watched it so far. Yeah. They can't get Mom to rate it higher than a 6, is all I'm saying. I worry about that because I checked that after I watched the trailer, and I'm with you, Andy. Like, I was intrigued. Like, this seemed like a nice little trio. I really like Gemma Chan. I think she's great, and
she's great.
She's wonderful, and so I was very curious. I feel like it could be a really interesting little triad thriller. I felt like I'd kind of seen it before, so it made me honestly that much more curious with what this particular cast could do with it. I guess I'm more curious now to know that it's a trio and not a trilogy and not a standalone thing. Like, how do these things tie together? I feel like I would have to do some research to figure out why why these seemingly different stories, are connected more than in name. So I don't know.
Because they all have intrigo.
They all have an intrigo, but yeah, you know what?
All I can say is, Pete, it's 3 films. It's an easy series for us to cover.
There you go.
That's it. Three films with the same name, all below 6 stars. That's going to be the series. 3 terrible movies.
The first one apparently is a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow. 13% from
Steve?
the top?
Yes. Oh, well, it's look at the little poster out there. Intrigo with the TRI in black, like it's a tri.
What does that mean?
The third one, it's intriguing. No, this was something that, as Pete said, there's some familiar elements here. This whole, like, I'm going to hire somebody to kill my husband or whatever, but then is there a double cross? What's going on? And it looks like she maybe kills the wrong person. I'm not sure. But this is one that I would give it a shot, unless there was, somebody really warned me off, like, it's disastrous. But there was enough. It looked good. It looked really good. The trailer made this look like it was going to be a good mystery type thriller piece, although maybe treading some familiar ground. I'd be intrigued with Intrigo. Yes.
All right. Excellent.
Where is this going
this
and
film,
when?
It's already, as I said, it already was released in Germany.
Okay.
Last film. It actually premiered on TV in Spain last August, then Germany in October. Here in the US, May 8th is when we will be getting this, probably at this point, just streaming.
Speaking of things that seem familiar.
What? Little screwball comedy wedding film
a wedding?
called Love, Wedding, Repeat. From Netflix, coming on April 10th. Yeah, this is. I had just said a couple weeks ago. I miss like really good screwball comedies. I don't know that this is going to meet that criteria, but it has all the elements of just fun going on. You've got a wedding, you've got somebody trying to drug somebody, and then place settings get switched, and somebody's drugged that's not supposed to be, and people are there that aren't supposed to be there, or misunderstandings, and people eating cake and falling off bridges or whatever. Ridiculous fun. Just something to put on, have a laugh, mindless entertainment, just enjoy it and go with it. That's what I'm hoping for, because in my watch list, I need things like this occasionally. And this is something that, Sam Claflin, Olivia Munn, I'm looking forward to just light fun with this. And that's what I hope Netflix can deliver on with Love, Wedding, Repeat when it hits on April 10th.
I thought it looked delightful. It looked exactly like just an easy, Netflix kind of a rom-com to just sit down and enjoy. It felt, I thought the title was funny, and weirdly, it just kept making me think that there were going to be aliens invading at some point that would, make somebody jump back in time perpetually.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know. I had a great time with the trailer, and it looks like a lot of fun.
That's what I wanted so badly, was some sort of time looping in this trailer. I thought that would have really made it for me. But that it didn't. But I'll tell you what it did have is Joel Fry. And I'm not kidding. I think that guy is straight up hysterical. And I hope they figure out how to really use him. He was used, I think, just right in Yesterday. And especially the play that he did off what's his name, the singer on the airplane. That whole sketch was really funny. No, man, leave rapping to the brothers. You should not rap. It's so good. That whole movie was brilliant. Anyway, he's in this movie. I think he looks great. I think there's a whole chance that this could be very funny. Olivia Munn playing a straight character around the comedy again. I think she's very, very talented. It was great to see her in this, and I hope that she ends up being used as well as she was in Newsroom, because I think she was great in Newsroom, and I also am a fan of Newsroom. I'm sorry, I thought it was wonderful. So
I love Newsroom.
That's it.
Who doesn't love Newsroom?
There are people out there who don't. I guarantee you, there are people who listen to this like,
yes.
Newsroom, posh.
Yeah, I know.
Boss.
You know what, Pete?
Pish posh.
Pete,
All the French.
You need to go out there on Twitter and convince them that Newsroom
Again,
is good.
Terrible advice from Steve Sarmento. Outstanding. So when does this come?
April 10th. So it's just, next weekend?
All right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. All right. As soon as I finish watching The Platform, I will watch Love, Wedding, Repeat. So here's the thing. I'm pretty excited about the zombie movies,
We've heard.
And I hope that our own apocalypse has waned enough that we can get this in the theaters. That is Train to Busan 2, also known now as Peninsula. There is nothing left of Korea. All of South Korea is gone, except for the geography. It's just a wasteland. And so a retrieval crew has to go in to the zone of death, and they discover that there are actually survivors living amongst the rubble and the ruin and the zombies in South Korea. And I really love what they are doing with the zombies in these trailers. I love the moving piles of bodies that just erupt. I love they're doing some great creature work here, makeup work, and the performers have, I think, a really unique take on what these zombies look like and the way they shake and quiver. And that opening sequence where I can't tell if there's screens or a giant wall of some sort where he shines the light on, they illuminate it, and it's just a wall of, many stories tall of bodies and scraping hands, and just truly wonderful zombie production design coming in this trailer. I am a big fan of Train to Busan, and I think that this will be a fantastic little series for us to do and reopen our zombie films. Andy.
I'm okay with that.
Fine. We'll do it.
I liked the first one quite a bit, and I'm curious to see what they do with this one. I like that it's now like a thing where it's like the first film. What did it say? Train to Busan presents.
Yes. Yeah.
Peninsula. I'm like, what?
Touch of class.
It's presenting it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's because it's done.
The Train to Busan cinematic universe.
Well, it made sense with Fast and the Furious,
it's like,
right?
In Saw,
Right.
what did they say for the Saw Spiral film? What was that?
It just Saw: Spiral?
No, it was like a sauce. It wasn't a sauce story. What was it?
Sauce? Oh, geez.
Saw. Spiral. Spiral. What did it say? Spiral from the Book of Saw.
Oh, from the Book of Saw.
That's right.
That's what it was.
That's right.
So I feel like now but presents is kind of like, I don't know. It's like, Terry Gilliam presents. Quentin Tarantino presents, because they needed a local name to attach to it to kind of get people to come to the.
Well, and
theater.
I think that's fair,
so
because who's going to see Peninsula, and they're trying to get they've got
if
a
they
chance
just call
to
it
leverage.
Peninsula, that's no one's going to see.
But
that.
see, this is what I don't understand on that point, Andy.
No, I'm saying if you just release it and it's called Peninsula, no one's going to go see it.
Yeah,
right?
You and I are in violent agreement here.
Are we violent agreement again?
Violent agreement right now. What I'm trying to say is, I don't
let's get together and
understand.
slam our heads against each other.
Do you know what? Three of us, we should do a podcast on this. Look,
Let's do it.
I think I'm just curious why they didn't just call it Train to Busan 2. In some locales, they are calling it Train to Busan 2. People who like zombie movies would see this movie if it was just called Train to Busan 2 or Back to Busan.
Because I have a feeling this was something that was developed as its own thing, and then they decided, we can tie it in, but there's probably not enough to directly connect it. But I don't know that you need that in a zombie thing, because you can call it you can call it Busan 2, Peninsula or whatever. But if you call it Train to Busan 2, people are gonna be like, "There's no train in this movie. There's no train in the movie, right?" So I don't
They should just call them all something to Busan, like Bus to Busan.
Yes.
Truck to Busan.
Tram to Busan.
You missed the last train to Busan.
The peninsula of Busan. There you go.
No more trains to Busan. Okay. Anyway, that's my movie. Everybody get a chance to talk about it?
I'm all on board for the Train to Busan presents the peninsula.
All right. Well, then you can really get on board.
Is the next one Isthmus? Is that we're gonna do? We do different. We do different. The fjords of Busan. We need that, right?
I will tell you that if you are in France and the world has calmed itself down, you might be able to see this on August 12th, 2020. But let's just go ahead and say it as it is. You're probably not going to see it in a theater. You're probably going to see it at home, streaming somewhere, and you'll be the better for it. Wash your hands. Bye.
Whew, man.
Hey, Andy, shall we re-rank some movies? What do you say?
Let's do it. Holy cow. So, Flick Chart. We're going to re-rank some of the movies that we've talked about on the show. We have them all on our Flick Chart, which you can find at flickchart.com/thenextreel.
I want a Frick chart.
You need a frickin'
A chart. So we're going to re-rank all of them. Not all of them. We're going to do 10 select rankings.
5 hours later?
This is too early.
Yes,
too early, too late, whatever it is. All right, so first up, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. The Wind Rises from our Hayao Miyazaki series, or Children of Men.
Children of Men.
Ooh, Children of Men, definitely. Steve hasn't seen The Wind Rises
yet. I have not. Let me get my letterbox list going.
That's right. Quarantine. You know, that's one of my personal favorites. Or Ocean's 11. This is the Soderbergh version, not the Sinatra version. Quarantine for me.
Yeah, Quarantine.
Quarantino?
Wait.
Wait,
What?
You said it was the 60s one?
I'll take it. I said it's the Soderbergh version, not the Sinatra version.
No, it's the Soderbergh one. No, you can't have it. No, you go back. Everybody knows there's a back button. You go back. I don't know what I was saying.
Because I knew
and I
you were high. What are you doing over there? Steve, you're going to have to throw your voice. Oh, you haven't seen Quarantine?
I haven't seen Quarantine.
All right, we're going to have to do Rochambeau because I'm definitely
out loud. You're wrong about this.
I've just never cared that much about the ocean.
Oh my gosh, the first one's so good.
And you have to insult us at the same time.
Yeah.
No, I'm just insulting.
No, you're.
Soderbergh. I don't know who I'm insulting.
One does not insult Soderbergh. All right.
What's the one he made about the people in the doll factory? Or what's the one he made with Julia Roberts where they're all like, you can't have your trailers, you can't have your assistants.
Full Frontal?
That film was garbage.
Yeah, Full Frontal was challenging.
Okay,
it was an experiment.
Soderbergh, I'm happy to insult Soderbergh when he makes... Look, I'm thrilled he has the money to go experiment. Anyway, Quarantine or Ocean's 11. 1, 2, 3.
Paper.
Scissors.
Pendulum is swinging back. This is not good.
Heck of a jump.
Yeah.
Thanks to that one. You're going to have to watch Quarantine just so you can fix that problem down the road, Steve.
Yeah.
Quarantine went from 301 to 91.
Yes. 90. It's
oh my gosh. No.
Ocean's 11 was way too high.
No, that movie is brilliant.
It's fine.
No, it's not fine. It's better than fine. Oh my god.
But it's no Quarantine.
Oh, please.
Next up, for a few dollars more, or Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. For a few dollars more, please.
Yeah, a few dollars more. Fine. 301
to 90
to 91.
That's right. Quarantine was way too low.
No,
I'm glad you
I'm just
agree.
saying, I enjoy.
Next up, Rabbit or Local Hero. Local Hero for me.
Wait, what?
I don't even know what you just said. What did you just say?
Rabbit.
Rabbit.
Oh. From our recent Cronenberg series, our Local Hero, one of our speakeasy films.
Yeah,
Local Hero for me.
Oh, God.
Next up, Robin Hood. This is the 1991 version with Patrick Bergin and Uma Thurman, or Stagecoach, John Ford's film.
Stagecoach.
I will say Stagecoach happily.
I don't need any.
Why did we put that one on our list again? I just don't know.
Because it was part of our 900 film Robin Hood series.
Let's cover them all. Next up, Carrie or Scanners. Ooh. Scanners. I sure love me some Scanners, but I will say Carrie.
Really?
I'm surprised you're saying Scanners. You were so negative about it.
I'm going to be.
This is Carrie.
I know. It's good.
Palma,
it's fine.
Stephen King. My Neighbor Totoro or The Bourne Ultimatum. That is the third and final of the original trilogy. Oh,
of the original trilogy.
Totoro.
No, I think I might be Totoro.
Totoro. Yeah.
Man, this is the one though where you find out like the whole thing or like that whole part is happening as
Treadstone.
as a like in the middle of the previous film.
Yeah.
I think it's My Neighbor Treadstone.
But isn't Bourne Ultimatum, isn't that the one with, what was it, Chaos Cinema, the jiggly cameras and all that stuff?
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
It's already Totoro because Steve went
I'm going to say Totoro. I'm going to say Totoro. I'm just saying,
Andy,
that
nobody
has the
cares.
fantastic roof jump.
Nobody
it
cares
does.
what you're saying.
It does. But Totoro's, Totoro.
I'm saying Totoro too. Rocky, the original, or Mary Poppins. I will say Mary Poppins.
Wow, it's been a long time since I've seen either.
But you have seen them both, so...
Yes, but it's been a long time since I've seen the Poppins. But there's something about the first Rocky that I think is just a classic. So I'm going Rocky.
I'm Rocky.
Yeah.
Well, Rocky held steady at 59.
As it should.
As it should be.
Weirdly, I'm going to skip this one because it's exactly what we just did. It's for a few dollars more, or Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. That
weird.
I've never seen that happen.
Okay.
Live Free or Die Hard or A Fistful of Dollars. This one's for you, Nick.
It's been a long time, but I will pick Live Free or Die Hard. Which one is that one again?
That's the fourth one.
That doesn't tell me anything. Who's the bad guy?
He takes down a helicopter with a car.
I love Live Free or Die Hard. I'm at a point where I feel like I have to say it's a guilty pleasure.
Yes, I think
like
it is a guilty pleasure. I'm going to
go
with Clint Eastwood. I'm going to go with Clint Eastwood.
It's A Fistful of Dollars.
I
will go with Clint Eastwood too, even though I'm probably wrong. A Fistful of Dollars, boy, that shot up 301 to 108.
Hey, but it's still
That's
below quarantine.
We want to see.
That's right.
But it's below quarantine, Pete.
Do you know what? That's what's really funny about that is I don't have anything against quarantine.
It just shouldn't
be
that high.
I just have it against Andy.
Thanks. Thank you. Next up, Interstellar or the Andromeda Strain. Ooh, from our disease series that we did back in the day.
Interstellar.
Wait, what was the first
Interstellar.
one? Interstellar. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Interstellar,
yeah.
Interstellar held steady at 168. Next up, Time Bandits or Thief. Michael Mann's film. I got to say Time Bandits.
It's going to be Time Bandits.
Steve?
I still haven't seen Thief. Yeah, and you keep telling me that. Like, I can't believe you haven't seen Thief. And I'm like, I know.
I know. I always forget which ones, but yeah. Where are we on the list?
We got one more.
I think we've done 27.
This is our last one.
We'll do one more.
27.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one here. Snowpiercer, little Bong Joon-ho, or Major League. Oh, I got to go Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer, yeah. All right.
That's a great one. Snowpiercer held steady at 44. Pretty high on our chart. All right. There's the rankings for today.
What a relief.
Nothing like some re-ranking to shake things up a little bit. Or a lot in some cases.
What do we do now?
So we did, we're talking about The Spy Who Came In From the Cold this week, kicking off our John Le Carre series. And we put up a few options over in our Show Talk channel over in Discord. And the option that got voted pretty much almost unanimously was interrogations. So we are talking about our favorite films with interrogations in them.
Did you set up any rules for yourself about this one? I know we struggled a little bit when we initially talked about this option, that this was going to be something that we'd have to, do we need to narrow it down? What sort of limits did you put on yourself?
I didn't end up putting any on. I initially was debating, should I do it where it's police only? And in the end, I feel like I'm kind of there, but we'll see once, if I have any steals, then I may end up having to use one that's not a policeman. So we'll find out.
All right. Steve, any rules?
No, I had such a short amount of time to put this list together. I'm like, I got 3. Okay, I'm good.
At least you didn't outsource it.
No, I didn't outsource it. But and there were some that I looked at and I was like, okay, well, this one I think was, I know that one was talked on the show. I'll leave that one out because I want to have this one that was probably on the show. And well, this one I know was mentioned on the list before, but I think it's a good example. So I just said, no, they're just some of my favorite interrogations. That's all I went with.
My favorite interrogation.
That's right.
Dear Diary. Let me tell you all about them. All right, well, mine first one, I'm going to kick off this list with a film that I'm pretty sure is not going to be a steal from either of you. This is a film that's near and dear to my guilty pleasure heart. It is Tom Mankiewicz's Dragnet from 1987 with, of course, Tom Hanks, my favorite, and Dan Aykroyd. And as Pep Strebeck and Joe Friday are doing some interrogating, they use a technique that it's pretty funny, and it's in their music video that they did too for their song that went along with the soundtrack here. But when they are interrogating, there's this little technique that they use where they can open a drawer on one side of the table opposite the interrogatee, and then they slam the door really quickly and it hits them right in the crotch, and it becomes this silly joke in the film. And, it was one of the first things that came to my mind when this was our list. So, of course, I have to put Dragnet here. So there you go. Dragnet.
That was also picked by Andy on September 2nd, 2017 in his position number 3.
Okay.
I love having this database here.
What was that list for?
Oh, you know what? It was back in the day before I've gotten to actually fill it in. So I have to go back and actually find it. I don't know. Yeah, the database is incomplete. Okay. It has an empty field there. All I know is that it was picked.
We'll assume it was our Lions with Mohawks.
Yes, let's go with that.
I had to put together.
Yeah,
yes.
Perfect.
All right. Next up, Steve.
Oh, it's me. Okay. Well, I guess I sort of did have a rule on this.
Only pick 3 and then stop picking?
No. You guys aren't going to believe I did this again. All right. I'm going to give you a quote from the movie.
Oh, no way. Rear Window.
No. Buddy, I'm going to shoot you in the face right now if you don't put your hands on the dash.
Wow.
No.
Doing that again?
Come on, stuck in the middle with you. Come on, that interrogation scene with Marvin, Reservoir Dogs. Again, so my rule is now I'm going to try to challenge myself to always have a repeat from the list before.
Oh, no,
I'm not. But I was just like, that's one that's just cringe-inducing, just classic, and the song that made that song, popular again. So
I honestly can't believe that I'm doing this pick first. It is the most cringe-inducing for me interrogation, certainly of any film in the particular series I'm talking about, but possibly. It is the most. It's easily one of the most difficult interrogations to watch, and that is the scene in the sewer where Lashif takes the knotted rope to James Bond in the downstairs area, Casino Royale 2006. It is gruesome and hard to watch, and my goodness, do both of those guys play that incredibly well. It's a rough one.
But it's got the best line.
We've talked about that on the show.
It's the best line at the end of that interrogation, though.
Good one.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. So I have now broken the Steve rule. I've broken the seal, and I have chosen a movie that we've talked about on the show. Okay. So there you go.
So there you go. I'm going with what I feel is
what
probably...
that tone is all about.
I don't know what that tone was either. I don't know. I was trying to be funny, and it just came off like weirdly like high school jerk. Like, John Hughes, I don't know where I came from. My second pick. This is the one that to me seemed like the most obvious pick. And I was like, should I do this one? And I was like, I'm not going to do this one unless somebody else has done it. If nobody did it by the time I got around to this spot, that I'm like, oh, I got to throw this one on the list because it feels like we've got to do it. And it just came up recently in conversation on Discord because of, I can't remember why, but we were talking about a particular film and films to pair it with. And Basic Instinct is one that definitely comes to mind because of interrogation scenes. Mm-hmm. And it's a pretty infamous one because Sharon Stone apparently, did this scene and was told by the director that you wouldn't see anything, and then everybody did. And, it makes the film. I mean, I'm not saying that this particular thing makes the film, but it's definitely one of those things that kind of helps boost the film to the level that it kind of has in everybody's mind of like this kind of sexy erotic thriller. So, and I think it's a really strong film. So Basic Instinct, second pick.
Good pick. I haven't seen that one in a long time. And that's one that I always debated whether the film was smarter than everybody assumed it was, because there's that weird fade to black at the end, and then it comes back, and I'm like, is there something else going on here? I don't know. I got to revisit that one. Okay.
Yeah.
It was on my backup list, but I'm not calling it a steal yet.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Pete?
Is it me?
No,
No, it's me.
you.
No, I'm talking to Pete. Pete?
Okay, good. Comma.
No, Pete, comma.
Are you still here?
Yes, no, Pete.
Yes.
You're watching television. You're watching
Are you
television.
gonna test me again?
Suddenly you spot a wasp crawling on your arm. How do you react?
Is this the test?
Blade Runner, everybody? There's multiple interrogations in there, right? I mean, they're not typical interrogations per se, but yeah, Blade Runner, number 2.
Nice.
Solid
choice. Yeah. I speaking of films that have multiple interrogations, I decided to actually do a pick that where the entire premise of the film is anchored on interrogating everybody in it. And that is, I can't believe, at least as long as I've been tracking the database, we don't have it recently, The Usual Suspects.
Oh, really? Wow.
I hear Christopher Plummer was great in that one.
The CG wasn't as good. He's a little sticky.
That's what we need. We don't need the cat's butthole cut. We need the Christopher Plummer
the Chris Plummer super cut
of every
Usual Suspects.
Of Usual Suspects. That's what we need.
Yeah. Just badly. I just want like a cutout, like motionless head. Just him.
Not this deep face.
Keyframed. Not just keyframed around movies.
Yes.
That's my pick.
That's
Number 2,
a good
Usual
one.
Suspects.
Very good one. Yes.
Solid choice.
Andy?
Well, you went with a film that was entirely an interrogation. I'm ending my list with a film that is entirely an interrogation, almost entirely an interrogation. It is a really fascinating, underseen film that more people need to check out. I saw this in the theater, believe it or not, back in the late 90s. And it's a film that I had Hugo Weaving in it. I've always found him really fascinating. And he was the only person that I really knew in it. But it's an Australian crime thriller that is this mystery. And it's basically like this verbal duel going on between the detective and the murder suspect in an interrogation room for the entirety of the film as you go back and forth with some flashbacks and stuff. But it's called The Interview, directed by Craig Monahan, who I think this might have been like his first film, and I don't think he's done a whole lot else, but what a fascinating film. Definitely worth checking out. And it is streaming on Netflix right now. So run out and watch The Interview. Just an excellent film.
Wow. Fantastic.
Okay.
I'm very nervous. Am I going to get to my last pick?
You'll get to your last one.
I don't know.
Yes,
right,
you will, because it's not all about interrogation. This is just...
I think it is this week all about interrogation.
No. I mean, this film is not all about interrogation, but it's got one of the most hilarious interrogations gone wrong, because, Andy, do you see what happens, Andy? Do you see what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps, Andy? Do you see what happens, Andy?
I don't know. I immediately went to Big Lebowski with John Goodman, but I'm like, in the Alps. I don't remember the Alps coming up.
That's in the edited for TV version. They changed the dialogue to be.
That's right.
Do you see what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps?
This is what happens
my God,
when you
that's so
find
funny.
a stranger in the Alps.
I was like, I don't remember that line. No wonder, because then you said Alps, and it made me think of what was the
Force
Coen Brothers
majeure?
movie?
No,
the Coen Brothers movie with George Clooney and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, yeah.
And he's talking about the guy who's the guy carrying all the bags. You're my guy who's carrying all the bags. The Sherpa. The Sherpa.
Yes.
Yeah, right. And that's immediately where my brain went to
cruelty?
another Coen Brothers. Intolerable cruelty.
Yes. Okay.
Another one. Now you both have popped the seal as far as the covering films we've talked about on the show.
I got too many on my list left over, you guys. We need longer lists this week, but I will tell you that I feel like sometimes you just have to ask, do you know the Muffin Man?
Okay.
The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man. Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? Who lives on Drury Lane? I don't know.
Yes.
I tried to do like
So good.
not funny ones, but this one I just can't get away from. It's Shrek, the original Shrek, interrogating the gingerbread man. The Muppet Man! It's still imminently quotable.
Yes.
Right here. It's one of the greatest spotlight interrogations. No, not my gumdrop buttons.
Oh, so good. Good stuff.
So there you go. There's our list. What do you have for honorable mentions?
The Dark Knight was on my list. That was really the only other one that I had kind of as a backup.
That was it? As your backup?
There were other ones.
You're like
Reservoir
Steve.
Dogs was kind of a backup, but it had just been used. There were other ones that we've talked about on the show, like Brazil, that I would of course love to throw on there. But
I had what good is a phone call if you're unable to speak?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Got into the Matrix, right?
Okay. Marathon Man.
Another one on the show. Marathon Man. Yeah.
Right,
Is it safe? Is it safe?
Another one. Yeah.
I had the Bears baseball bat, the interrogation, the Brad Pitt interrogation in Inglourious Bastards. Yeah. That was horrifying.
Yes.
Gives us. I had two Tarantinos actually. Pulp Fiction. Check out The Big Brain on Brad.
Yeah.
But that didn't involve any police.
It didn't need to. That would have been. That's a good. I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah. And then finally, the last one is how many hitchhikers? I don't know. 25, 50? Who keeps track? Anybody? Something About Mary.
Oh, that was another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to pull that line out, but I had that one. I'm like, oh, that's a pretty funny
it's
one.
Like a classic. He starts slamming his head on the table. Oh, he's so good. It's great. It's choice. So that's what and Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell goes bonkers in the other guys.
Oh, yeah.
The bad cop, bad cop. I don't know. I just thought I'm really going to have to amp it up if you're doing bad cop, bad cop. You're already bad cop.
That makes me think there probably was one in the Lego movie, because since we did have good cop, bad cop in there, there's probably a good interrogation. But all right. Lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff.
What are we going to do this week?
Well, let's see. We're continuing our John le Carré series with everyone's favorite, The Little Drummer Girl. What should we do?
Drumline movies. Movies with drums.
Interestingly, there were no drums in that movie.
Movies with drums that we liked better than The Little Drummer Girl. I'm just spitballing here, you guys. You can take it anytime. Pick up the reins and drive. Go. Steve, have you seen Drummer Girl?
Obviously it's dealing with a big conflict, like Middle East conflicts. Yeah. So that seems like there's something we could do there.
That's easy. That's
Middle East conflicts.
Yeah.
Should we make that one Middle East conflict?
Middle East conflicts. Sure.
What was the list based on from the list we just did was for what film? Because I thought we just
The Spy
came in from the cold.
That's right. Oh, that's right. So movies that are named after a character who isn't in the movie. I don't know. Is there a drummer girl in the movie? What does this title mean?
No, but it's the whole idea is it's from the song
Little Drummer Boy.
Yeah. You kind of keep them going.
Okay.
We could do drum movies.
No,
I am all in for drum movies. I think that would be great. Movies that are as related to drumming as this one is.
Oh, there you go.
Isn't.
Oh, so silly.
So what can you do with this one that's not the same as what we did this week?
Well, it's a totally different type of spy film.
Is it? It's totally different. So there's no interrogations in this movie?
It really is a person who goes in undercover, like deep undercover, to actually become in one of like the terrorist groups. Like this woman joins this Palestinian kind of group that is doing all like the terrorist bombings and stuff. So
okay. So like deep undercover movies.
Deep undercover.
But didn't we just do undercover movies like a couple weeks ago or was that
in our Spike Lee series? We did undercover.
Yeah, Undercover Cop.
Yeah, but it was Undercover Cop.
We could do spy romances.
This is
although it ended up being a lot of FBI and stuff, so that might too many crossovers. Let's see.
It's a love story. Yeah. Spy
she
romance.
falls in love with the guy who's kind of training her.
Spy romance.
Okay. Yeah. Want to do spy romance?
Yeah, spy romance.
Yeah.
And
all right. So Middle East conflict movies, spy romance. Are we going to leave drum movies?
No.
All right, Steve has vetoed drum movies. I think that's
Okay,
I think that's
so
a
then-
mistake.
Because all I got is Drumline. What am I going to do? And I haven't even seen
There's
that.
the Tim
Whiplash,
Rum that you can
too.
probably watch on the Criterion Channel.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. This is where I'm counting on my IMDb plot keywords to.
Oh, what about
Well, there's a bombing plot. There's a bombing plot.
Oh, there's bombing plot. Okay.
Okay, well that gets
There's
us back.
also
We've talked about
apparently-
bombing.
yeah,
We've talked
yeah.
about wanting to do bombing plots, right?
Well, bombing plot was on our
Okay.
list for Black Klansman,
Black
but
Klansman.
it just didn't
Right.
get voted up. So we could
Wow.
do it again.
So-
Bombing plots.
Okay. Because that's better than what IMDb is giving
Yeah,
me.
it's probably giving you,
There's not a lot.
women in 70s clothes.
No. There's not a lot there, but it is mostly bare-chested male, man sweating, hairy chest, male full frontal nudity, pubic hair, male pubic
Wow.
hair, male rear nudity,
What?
male frontal nudity.
Wow,
Yes.
people are
I
really
don't know.
I
concerned
guess there
about
was some
penises
torture.
on IMDb.
There is torture.
Yes,
We
and-
could do torture.
Yeah. And then there's forward title.
Forward title.
Yes.
Okay.
But zero people
I am
zero
disappointed
people
in
found
people
that
if they're putting
relevant.
that as keywords. Important,
Oh my God,
relevant
boys
keywords.
are
This is a
naked and
forward title.
forward titles.
Oh, that's the
You
little
know
drummer
what?
girl.
There is
Yes.
also something about great mustaches in cinema. That's definitely there.
Oh, there's a mustache in that.
Oh, there's a mustache.
Okay. It's I'm sure there
Yeah.
is.
We've done mustaches when we did. Gosh, what was it? I can't remember, but
Poirot.
I know that came up.
Yeah, Pete, you're
Yeah,
the
it
keeper
was
of the
Poirot.
list.
It was.
there.
You're
Come on.
right. It was when we did
Okay.
the train movie. Whatever that's called.
Okay.
Yeah,
Murder on the Orient Express. All right, so we already did that one. Should I just leave bombing plots on? That wasn't. It didn't.
Yeah.
All right. So Middle East conflict movies, bombing plots, and spy romance. There you go. So that
Okay.
poll will go up in our Show Talk channel. If you want to vote, just get on into our Discord chat room, and the link is on our website. You can follow it there, and you need to join us on Patreon so that you can get into the Show Talk channel and get your vote cast. How would they do that, Pete?
You know, they would visit patreon.com/thenextreel or thenextreel.com/Patreon. Lots of different ways to help support the show. That is one of them. If you visit there, you join for a few bucks a month, you get access to the online community, the Next Reel community, which is fantastic. Most of the conversation takes place in Discord, in those member channels. Lots of great talk about movies and very high quality people. If you're looking to not be a part of the, if you're tired of Twitter, like Steve is, then you'd come and join our Discord community, patreon.com/thenextreel, and you will be helping us to continue to produce the show, cover the costs of hosting the show, and, all support is great support. Thank you very much. Patreon.com/thenextreel. What else can they do, Steve?
I was just thinking about this, and we in our discussions today, we talked about Cronenberg. I think we talked about Tarantino a couple of times. We were a little Tarantinty, and you could express your love of that with these filmmakers with your little auteur theory T-shirt. You can pick up at thenextreel.com/merch. Our Cronenbergian Spielbergian. Oh, because amazing stories. We talked about Spielberg, Kubrickian. We didn't talk about any Kubrick this week though, but Tarantinty, and then of course okay cinema Scorsese. Yeah. So there's that. Oh, there's the Samurai Thor shirt, because we talked about Thor: The Dark World and what a wonderful capstone to the Marvel Cinematic Universe that film was.
A lot of Iron Man stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of Iron Man, and of course our next season.
And of course, yes, the green season of Marvel Movie Minute, season 2.
Guys are doing a great job. Check that out too. And that's it. That's the pitch. That's it. We've done the money stuff.
Well, thanks everybody, and have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you down the road.
Yes, we will talk to you then.
Hondo.